Greetings, Tecmo Super Bowl fans. This is Trojan 1979, once again joined by Eric Odell from the Detroit Kumite, co-founder. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Troy. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's been a blast. This is our second broadcast together, and hoping to do many more with Eric, as he's a very knowledgeable player. Today, we have another matchup. Same two players as the first game. This is their second game in group play. Just breaking down the format of group play. There are 4 people in each group. Each player plays each other twice. And with online Tecmo, you want to have an opportunity to host a game just for that connection benefit. So that's why we do back-to-back as opposed to in a traditional local tournament where you would get to play the person once in your group. So Nas is the Minnesota Vikings and Science Guy is the Washington Redskins. And here we go. Something of a mirror matchup, these two teams, or at least a lot of similarities. We have kind of pedestrian quarterback play, good receivers, good running back, good defense.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, they picked Cleveland, Green Bay the first time, and Washington, Minnesota it's the same thing. It's basically a mirror. These teams are very even.
If this matchup were an ice cream flavor, it would be vanilla. I'm a frozen custard guy myself. We have a pro set start here, dive play. Ernest Biner. I did see who his lead blocker was there. We don't get to see the alignments until they go into the change screen. It adds a little bit of mystery for us, like Lee here. Back-to-back plays here. And looks like the up the middle is so far isn't doing too much damage, and my guess is run was called both of those times. Keith Millard now probably the best option here. He can catch back up to Rippin instead of letting him run for it, and wisely throws it.
A little love there with Millard for the jumps, and it didn't come through. They gave him the dive, and resulted for a big play for Science Guy.
Looks like Science Guy with the taps. 12 to 11 there. That's a nice added feature. This ROM was hacked to do a couple things for the fans out there. We get to see how many taps you press in a grapple, as well as, we have a JJ there to Sanders. Down to the 5. Mark Rippin getting it done. Nice throw by Science Guy there. And we have Biner with the loss called run 1. The other thing is we have the stat corrections with conditions fixed in this ROM for player 2. That's another disadvantage that normally is very, if you don't know the game, being player 2 is, you're in trouble. So 3rd and 14 coming up here. Is this a
right there was a key play, Nas getting into the backfield. He's a guy that he's known for doing that. He can certainly get in there with that DB2 against pro set or against the run and shoot.
Having those dive skills is huge to be able to be effective with that, and he seems to do very well. And we see here, instead of using Meriwether, he popcorns the blocker to free up another. Was that who's the linebacker that would have been running in there? It's not Millard.
That was the middle linebacker, I believe. Studwell, I think, is the bottom guy.
Okay.
I can't think of the middle, the right middle.
Well, either way, there's a 3-point little Chip Miller action there for you, and let's see if the Vikings can do some damage. Of all the pass plays with Anthony Carter on the field, I struggle to let players use pass 1. What's the one that you like to take away?
Yeah, essentially whatever one he's going long a lot of the time. And if you're calling pass a lot defensively, I think it's a wise decision to attempt to have your best defender drone follow him and then select your next best defensive back and get help in there against a guy like AC's prowess.
And JJ City to start the game. This one is overthrown, and it looks like Nas is looking at a 3rd down situation. So both these quarterbacks are really bad. Whiskey Wade and Mark Crybaby Rippin there. And underneath the Walker, and really turning up the taps there is Nas, 14 there on that one, forcing a 4th down shotgun play here. Forces that throw. I would have liked to see that go down either with a run or down to wide receiver 2 who was not moving. Is certainly going to have better hands, but gives it up here on 4th down to Biner, who's now in the clear and doesn't really have to worry so much about getting out of bounds with that ball control. That's one of the advantages of the Redskins.
Or so they tell you.
It's always Murphy's Law, isn't it?
Yeah. As far as we know, that 81BC does something, but we're all a little skeptical. Again, with the DB2 4-yard loss.
Nothing like fumbling 4 times with Bo Jackson in a game. So we've got Lee again on the bottom. We kind of talked about this in the last game. Nas likes to use those outside cornerbacks. And now we have another cold play. No dice. Probably another field goal attempt incoming here. As much as you hate to settle for 2 field goals. It's early. Kick might be a little low here. And it is no good. Really no threat of being blocked there. I thought that was a little bit rushed. There was maybe a little lag. Because we don't see this in real time. We see the recording from the emulator. So another one of the glories of online Tecmo. And Anthony Carter now in the clear. Perfect reception timing. Making those defenders dive. Go ahead.
Tough pill to swallow on that missed field goal. A lot of people think the possessions are so limited in this game, and to kick 2 field goals, in some ways you're down a possession because you're only getting 6 points out of 2 possessions. So to then miss that field goal, a huge pill to swallow.
Absolutely. We have now, we're in the red zone, right on the 20. Whiskey Wade pitches it, and Walker getting it done here. And against this matchup, and you see that run and shoot formation, who do you like to use on defense here? I know the green is good against the sweep, but his interceptions
I like
isn't
mixing
the
it up a bit. I think a lot of Tecmo, it's a copycat league for one thing, and I think a lot of people are copying what Nas does with DB2, and especially with a team like Washington, you could certainly have an argument to be Mayu against run and shoot. It goes into what you call defensively, what you're set up to defend already. Whether it's run or pass, and then which play within that.
Another run 3 called here. Walker doing a good job against the grain. Finds the void in the defense. Herschel Walker in for 6. Looks like he took green on that play, and he just went back to where he wasn't. 7-3 here. So after all of the turnover and the field goal drama, it's almost like he didn't do anything with those first 2 possessions now that he's down.
Right.
So second quarter, just over 2 minutes remaining. We have passed 4. This play has been successful, and I think Nas is just all but done with this play here. I'm not letting you have it anymore. Very dangerous throw, ripping into the secondary's pass control. Stats are pretty paltry.
They risked a sack there. He took it all the way back to the goal line.
That's something that I see, more novice players do, or I wouldn't call Science Guy a novice, but I wouldn't call him a veteran of the scene by any means. You kind of call reference the game that he played last. Just some of these little things like in there is taking longer to deliver that ball just by running backwards as opposed to staying a little more lateral to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And there we see the attempt to go over top there, and finally the pass control rears its ugly head. We have an interception, and now Nas is rolling. 7-3 lead. Up a possession, throws it up to Anthony Carter. And that time defenders are in good position to knock that down. Single back formation. Run 3 here. And now Darryl Green being popcorned. Don't like the out of bounds there at that situation. I think Nas might be forcing this a little bit, and there's even
especially leaving a little too much on the clock. Perhaps Andy could have got maybe a little closer.
And this looks like a field goal that might be doinking in. Okay, so it was a little high there. It worked out, but now the Redskins. I don't know what the Hog is, just how good the return game is on the kickoffs. I know he doesn't have Riggs in, but nothing doing there. So it worked out for him, but with the man defender on the ground there, no reason to not try to extend that out for a potential touchdown. So Both players here using kind of abnormal choices for the returner. I had seen this trend with another game that involved Matty D, and the explanation that he gave to me, he had a hunch that there was something to do with the player that goes in bad conditions is whoever is related to who their kick and punt returner is. Brewdog came through and said, no, there's nothing in the code that does that, but there's a superstition at play here, and sometimes belief is strength than fact, more stronger than fact. So,
right. In terms of the Vikings, Herschel Walker, I think a lot of time would be a lot of people's kick return guy. His hitting power is just a little higher. Maybe his run speed is actually probably comparable to the rest, but
Anthony Carter's at 44, so he's got the highest.
You just throw somebody back there with the Vikes. I don't think it's too big of a deal.
Not sure what Nas had going on there. He threw it to a guy that was in a grapple. I think that was just a misclick or maybe some leg kicking in. And another called play. Lucky that's not intercepted here. Third down, he has another chance. In situations like this, if you don't have a clear run opportunity, chucking it up in the end zone, not even giving himself that opportunity, goes for a run three, and now we're looking to be punt situation here to the Redskins. So I think that's something that we see a lot of times where people on first and second down are going for those big JJs, and I always say that third down, it's as good as a punt if you know you're not getting it. Might as well throw it up and see what happens.
Right.
I do like that he has Riggs on the tight end position here with all that hitting power.
Agreed. Monk also has a surprising 38 hitting power as well, and he's a guy I like to utilize at tight end myself, given that the Redskins have a lot of receiving threats.
I think they do that intentionally for the with not having the traditional playbook running back position alignment. I think that gives them the ability to still be effective with their identity with that running. Programmers knew what they were doing in this game. And Clark with the JJ in the clear. No one's going to get him. Touchdown, Redskins.
And the things that the programmers didn't know, it was a perfect... The things that they even didn't know worked out so well that's what makes this game what it is still today, 25 years later.
It is a gem. 10-10 the game here. So, Science Guy letting out his frustrations after a paltry first half showing with one field goal and not much else, and is back in this game here. So, pressure now on Nas to do something with this possession and to maintain the momentum that he had coming into the second half. Nas doing a great job here recognizing Anthony Carter there on the burn route, that angle. He's not giving Science Guy a chance to react. He's dictating what's happening. And a throw to Jordan, and he's getting bold with these frame timings here. If Whiskey Wade decides to throw an errant ball here, may have a pick.
Yeah. Mayo and Green can make him pay for these. No question.
1 yard gain on a called run three is not a bad result, considering another called play. Looks like Science Guy is in his head, overthrown, but also outside of the DBs there for the Redskins. And now we have a run two incoming. And who's the right defender to use here? Let's see. He didn't shoot the gap here. Ooh, his dead zone comes into play, and now he gets popcorn. Now it's zigzag time. Ken Walker evade. No, he does not start the motion soon enough and gets taken down. Let's see if this
colossal play. A play that could have put him into a punting situation gives him essentially first and goal. And that's a score.
Chris Carter drops the open ball there on a called play. Could have been a score here. And again, I don't know. I feel like Science Guy is doing the Belichick. He's got his playbook. Open to Carter, but the overthrow. Sometimes you see that in Tecmo where it doesn't matter if he's wide open. Into the back of the end zone, it goes over the top.
Yeah, more often than not, from that spot with Whiskey Wade, that one's going to be incomplete.
Nice running there with Walker by Nas. So for those of you that don't know, the dead zone is a controller setting in the emulator that if you're not below the 25 or below, you can find yourself suddenly losing all of your momentum as a defender. It has to do with and that's how you keep your speed going with defenders is continual movement. All right, so we have Riggs, who is in bad condition, at least as we saw the last time the condition was checked. We did have a quarter change since then. See if he checks conditions here. Nas up 3, 13-10 here in the fourth quarter. Looks like past 4. He's going to test it to see if he's still sitting on it. Looks like he is not. Rippin is now going down to Art Monk. Open in the middle of the field. Nice play there. Throw set formation. Browner getting in the action. Viner gets caught up on the blockers. Buzz breaks free. Tapping opportunity here. Science Guy breaking loose. Oh, but the drones finish him off. Could have been a huge game.
Tapped an 18 there to Nas's 10.
So I talked to him about that. There was a concern at one moment with if you looked at the normal taps, what's going on there. I actually did a tapping session with him, and he was in similar numbers most of the time with myself. The position he holds the controller with, nice run there by Rippin, that he holds the controller is different than when he's going into a tap session. He slides his fingers, not dissimilar from the way I do my thumb slide, but he doesn't grip the controller that way, so there's a pause in the transition. Right. If he knows he has a tapping, he's going to try to get it there sooner. And there he had to have that. He knew he could have gotten a bigger gain. I don't think you'll see 18 again in this game. Tight end was open. Lexington not tried to that throw. He takes the sure thing with the first down. But Nas had decided to come up, and that throw was there if Rippin could have made it. That's the one thing that you tend to be a little more conservative when you have crap quarterback play, which is what you get with these guys.
Well, especially with a minute and a half remaining, approaching the red zone. But, yeah, anytime.
Ed, it doesn't seem to matter now. We have the running game getting into it for Science Guy. These guys know how to put on a show.
It's been a good series so far in the first 39 minutes and 6 seconds of play. Now it's one shot left.
That's some great Tecmo math from you right there. That was spot on.
I was kind of somewhat weary. Spit out the number, I must say.
Well, the internet is going to hold it against you forever if you're wrong. So let's go ahead and get back here. So Clark gets you out to near the 10. 1 or 2 chucks up here is what you've got time for. Let's see if Nas can turn on the AC or maybe get Jordan involved here. Maybe even Hassan Jones if he's got enough time to throw it. He needs to throw it soon, otherwise he's not going to have another chance at it. And now we have a safety. Oh, this is terrible for Nas.
Redskins' pursuit looked like it was already beasting right off the snap, and they got to him.
So, despite all the drama, we didn't get to see that chuck to the end zone. And Science Guy holds on, maintains, gets it done with Rippin, the Hogs, the Washington Redskins. So, tail of the tape here looks like Ernest Biner over the century mark there. Good ball control. Both quarterbacks in that really low percentage completion, but getting over 100 yards each. Not a bad performance by either guy. That safety was just too much. We could have very easily seen a situation like we see in so many of these games. Who has the ball last ends up winning. Not the case. Well, actually, it ended up being the case with the kickoff at the end. But I certainly wouldn't want to play either one of these guys in bracket play. I think anyone that takes these guys lightly is in for a rude awakening. So any thoughts for either player from observations you've seen other play for improvement moving forward here?
Not too much stood out, to be honest. It seemed like both guys seemingly scored on all their possessions for the most part. Nas is one of the Nostalgia, for those of you that don't know the full name. He's certainly one of the better players out there. His unique defensive playing style puts him above many players, but Science Guy has really, really proven what he can do in this tournament, and I'm interested to see how he does in the bracket play.
Well, this is a lot of fun. I'd like to thank you for your contribution here to this commentary as this tournament progresses. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Let us know what you thought about the game in the comments. Any observations, any comments you want to make. If you want to see more GBLAN Online Tecmo Super Bowl tournament games, hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified when we release new videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time on GBLAN Online Tecmo.